Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. I'm your host, JP John Poz, for the latest POZCAST. Today, the guest, of course, is the former WWF Head Writer, the former WCW Head Writer, the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion. He is Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, welcome in. How you doing?
What is going on, John? It sounds like you got a bit of a cold. You got a cold there, bro?
Yeah, the weather here in Jersey, hot and cold and hot, so something's going on with the voice here. Yeah, for
Yeah, that
sure.
always kills you, man, when it goes back and forth like that. I always get caught with that as well, man. Yep.
So just something interesting that few people have brought up to me that they wanted me to ask you about, and it was that you did some announcing for WWF. Why? How? I know Shotgun Saturday Night obviously was a part of it, but how did that come about? Why were you an announcer? What were you doing announcing for?
Because they at that time, bro, the WWE was so hot at that time. Like everybody wanted to be in business with us. I mean, everybody wanted to be in business with us. And there was a show that was just based in New York. You only got it in New York. So, when I was doing the Vic Venom gimmick and all that stuff, just being a New Yorker, they thought that I would be good for that show. I knew nothing about commentating, play by play, like nothing at all. And bro, like I'll be honest with you, like I don't even, bro. People send me stuff, and I'm like, I don't even remember doing it. So like people have been sending me some of these things, and yeah, man, I did it. I don't remember what I did specifically, but I do remember I had a good time doing it.
Yeah, it's just funny looking back. It's like, wow, all these different commentators. It's like, wow, Russo's popping up as a commentator for
Yeah.
Shotgun Saturday Night.
Yeah, but
Did you have
and you
any
know what?
experience
I had no
besides
experience,
radio?
nothing. Oh yeah, just doing my vicious Vincent's world of wrestling. But see, bro, like I swear to God, like something like that, I would probably be open to and interested in like doing something like that. Like even before writing or being an on-air character or anything like that, man. Because I think I know how to get people over. I think I know how to tell stories. And yeah, bro, that was fun, man. I enjoyed doing that.
What'd you think about Shotgun Saturday Night? I mean, it didn't really
I hated it, bro.
draw.
Can I tell you why I hated it, bro?
Yeah.
It was so brutal, John, and you will appreciate this. Bro, you got to understand at the time, I got my wife, I got three young kids, okay? I'm working my ass off Monday through Friday, okay? Bro, then Saturday comes and now I got to drive from the island into the city.
Oh,
And now I got to do that Shotgun Saturday Night and then drive home after it, bro. And oh my God, I absolutely, absolutely hated that experience. Thank God, man. It did not last that long.
that is brutal. Just the traffic and getting
Brutal,
yeah.
bro. Brutal, man.
What did you
The
think?
last place you want to head from Long Island is into Manhattan on a
Yeah.
Saturday night. That's the last place you want to be.
What'd you think about the actual show? Like commentating
Yeah.
on the actual show? Did you like the way the show was done?
No, no, not at all. I liked commentating on the show, but I mean, I just asked myself many times, like, why are we doing this? But listen, bro, that's the one thing with the WWE, and it's never changed, bro. It's always the money grab. And let's face it, John, like if we're gonna be honest, they completely 100% bastardized Raw by going to 3 hours. They took the money that USA was offering, and bro, come on, let's face it. Did they really need the money for that third hour? Probably not. But they took the money and then they completely bastardized that show from going from 2 to 3 hours. And I'm hearing there's some talk of doing that with SmackDown now. And the reality, I think now we can all agree they definitely don't need the money now. We know how much money this company is making, but I mean, bro, if I were me, I would never put money before the quality of my product. I never would do that.
So with Shotgun though, were you booking at all or no? Who the heck was booking Shotgun Saturday night?
Bruce, that was pretty much when it was Bruce, Pat. I don't know if Pat had retired by then. If Pat had retired by then, it was pretty much Bruce, Jim Cornette. They would do the show together, and then they would get together with Vince.
Seems like your kind of show though. You know what I mean? Just like kind of Wild West and
Yeah,
cursing
well, that's definitely like, the direction we were heading in, but I did not write those shows.
So even though you're on commentating, you have nothing to do with creative for that show.
No, not at all.
Wow, interesting. I figured that would be right up your alley, though.
No, it is. I mean, it is, but I wasn't in that spot yet, bro. I wasn't in that spot until I think what happened, John, because I can't remember everything. I think what happened was JJ Dillon went to WCW, and I think that opened up the talent relations spot, and Bruce really, really, really wanted that spot. So when Bruce went into talent relations, that's when that creative spot opened up, and that's when Vince put me in that spot.
And obviously, Bruce, not as good as JR to talent relations. JR
was
the man.
I don't know, John, I swear, I don't know what happened there, but he was in and out. I mean, something happened. I know, bro, Bruce was so excited about the job. It's what he wanted. Something happened, bro. I have no idea what, but he was in and out of that spot.
Now, today, and what's going on with wrestling, we'll go real quick before we talk about the pay-per-view, but I just was wondering what you thought about NXT 300,000 K victory over AEW. I know they're not huge numbers, and I was just talking to a couple of guys, and they were like laughing, like, "What was the lowest rated Raw?" And I was like, "I think it was,
I mean,
before
bro,
recent times was like 2 point something, 2 point whatever."
I mean, John, that's the
2.3
ridiculousness of this. We John, I'll never forget. Kevin Dunn, of course, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
bro, I'll never forget the first time, man. We're at a I think we're on a recording SmackDown on Tuesday or something, but the Raw numbers just came in. And like Vince and I had not gotten the Raw numbers. And I'll never forget, bro, Kevin Dunn, who had been there forever, whose father was there. He walked up to me and Vince and he said, "I never thought I'd see the day where professional wrestling was doing 10 million viewers on a Monday night." So, bro, when we're looking at 10 million and 1.5, like, oh my God, like, are we really going to have this conversation? But here's my takeaway, John. Bro, listen, John, can we agree on this? Does Raw absolutely suck?
I don't know. It's been better to me, but it's not great. I like SmackDown a lot better.
Bro, here's my point. We saw the effort that they put into that NXT show. We saw it, bro. Why can't they do that every week? That's my question. I saw the effort you guys put in with Cena and Knight and the Undertaker and everything you did. Why can't you do that every Monday night? That's my issue, bro. So you showed that you're capable of doing it. Why aren't you doing this every Monday night?
And is it laziness? Do they not want to do it? Do they want to kind of like waste some time before they?
It's a couple of things, John. They're making so much money, they don't need to do it. So it's the combination of, to me, laziness, and there's no need for urgency. And bro, let's face it, man, the audience that they have, they know that audience is going to watch anything. So it really doesn't matter. But like, the thing that mattered with me was, like, forget all that. Forget everything that I just said. Bro, I wanted to leave that building on Monday night knowing I did the best job I possibly could. That's all I wanted to know. Whether people liked the show or didn't like the show, I always wanted to make sure, like, I left nothing on the table. So, like, I don't know how they put on those shows, and then, you know, you can't sit there, bro, and tell me that's the best you can do. You just can't.
It did feel like NXT. I mean, they put a lot of effort in that. They were, making sure that they beat AEW. They beat AEW. Still didn't do a million people, but I mean,
Right,
they beat them by a significant amount. But they did
right,
put, Cody and Undertaker, Asuka, Cena, Becky. I mean, everybody was on the show.
right. They put effort into it, but on
Yeah.
Monday night, bro, they're sleepwalking through that entire show.
Now, as far as the pay per view we're covering today, Fully Loaded 1998. Obviously, this is in the midst of the Russo writing era, right? I mean, this is like you're
Oh
you're the
yeah,
head, you're the head guy. Is
yeah.
Ed here yet, or are you just doing this by yourself so far?
Oh my God, bro.
So July 1998, headed into
What's the main event?
Austin and the Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind.
Man, I know Ed came first to a pay-per-view, and I'm pretty sure it was a match between Taker and Kane. I don't know, bro. I don't. I'm horrible with dates. I don't know if Ed's right with me yet.
Now, when Ed comes in, easier for you, harder for you, smoother
Oh
for
no,
you?
see, bro, that's the difference between me and everybody else, bro. Like and that's why it's such bullshit, bro. Because here's the difference. The we were really on a roll, okay, and it was just me and Vince. That's it. And Vince said to me, Vince, I can't be working on this show anymore. I don't have time. There's too much going on in the company. We need to find you somebody to write with. And I was like, absolutely. I had no problem with that whatsoever. So Ed was recommended, bro, through the USA Network and Bonnie Hammer because he had worked on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Weird Science. So I knew, bro, Ed was an established writer. So I looked at that, bro, as an opportunity for me to grow. This is somebody that can really teach me television writing, man. He's done it. This would be a great opportunity. Bro, if this were anybody else, in creative, Heyman, Pritchard, anybody else, and Vince wanted to bring in a professional writer, they would have done everything in their power to bury this guy because they would have been afraid of their spots. That's how it works. But for me, oh my God, bro, if I can work with a television writer. So Ed came to a pay-per-view. And I remember, bro, like I said, there was a match, I think, between Taker and Kane. And Ed suggested something to me that Kane do in that match, and it was freaking great. And I knew, like, right then and there, we need to bring this guy aboard. And the great thing about the chemistry, John, was like, I really am a big picture, blank page type of guy. Like, I will get you started by just machine gunning 100 ideas at you. Ed is the meticulous, dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure everything makes sense. So that's why I think the combination of the two of us, was so successful because we really complemented each other. But bro, if anybody else were in my spot, Ed Ferrara would have never in a million years ever been hired in that company.
So you welcomed him in, obviously. Like you said,
Absolutely.
others would not have. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I got to be honest. I took a few writing courses with Ed, or a few writing classes with Ed. Man, he's a great teacher. He knows
It's great,
like the ins
bro.
and outs of writing. I know people might
Yes.
not believe that, and obviously he's a teacher or was a teacher at Full Sail University at
Yes.
writing, and
Yes.
so I mean
And
he
and
knows
who
his
would
stuff.
who wouldn't want to learn from a guy like that? Like I said, bro, I knew I was going to learn television writing, and Ed taught me television. Vince didn't know television writing. Bro, those guys formatted a show. Okay, this is the first match, then we're going to go to an interview. Then they're not TV writers, but I knew I could get that from Ed, and he was a great freaking teacher, bro.
Is that the guy who's teaching you, like, let's hook them, let's leave them, let's go to commercial break a certain way? Is he the guy that kind of taught you that aspect of
Yeah,
TV writing?
he really taught me like the details, bro. The details. Like I knew, bro, because we were competing with Nitro. I knew we can't give him an opportunity to change the channel. No matter what, we can't give him the opportunity. So, with that being the mindset, Ed really helped with the structure and how to do that. And bro, I'll tell you who the MVP was as we talk about these shows during that period. Bro, on russosbrand.com, every 2 weeks, I review an Attitude Era show. Bro, freaking JR, he will not let you go to that other channel. Oh my God, bro. He was constantly telling stories, retelling stories. Austin's in the back and he's pissed off. The Rock is on his way to the building. Oh my God, DX is on the way to attack WCW. When you listen to the shows, JR blows me away. And I'm telling you, bro, he was a big, big reason why the people weren't flipping channels and going back to WCW.
That's the thing too. Like when you're writing, do you think like, oh, they're going to be on commercial break here, or you don't even think about their
No,
show? You
not at
just
all. Not at all. I have no idea when their commercial breaks are, when halftime is of Monday Night Football. Not at all. We're just concentrating on keeping them glued to our show. That's it.
because before you were writing, I remember Bischoff would talk about when they first started Nitro, like Raw was like the same pattern of commercials. So he's like, well, we'll just stay on here because they're going to be in commercial and they won't, they won't want to flip over because they're on commercial. So just like stuff like that. But you guys wouldn't even think about it. You're only
No,
focusing
we
on your
we
stuff.
never even looked at that. With us, bro, it was all about flow. Just the flow of the show. That's what it was all about.
When you like writing the show, are you saying like, oh, right before commercial, let's give them a tease?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Absolutely, bro. You're going into every commercial break. Now, bro, you got to know. You got to know. We're going into commercial break. They're going to go over to Nitro.
right.
But the trick was we had to make them keep coming back to see if we were back because of something that happened before we went to break. That's why I say it all the time, bro. There's an art to writing a television show. And, like when, a Tony Khan walks in and he talks about, oh, I was booking an E-Fed when I was 5. Bro, that's not writing a television show. That's booking a wrestling card. It's two completely different animals, bro.
I think every fan used to do that. I remember I used to write in my notebook, like, oh, what if Vader fought Hogan?
Yeah,
And, you know what I mean? It's like,
right, man. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. And obviously, he's been crazy lately, tweeting all this.
Well, he's
random
losing
stuff.
his mind. That guy needs to get in the back seat, bro. Like literally, he needs to freaking chill out, man, and get in the back, bro. It's he's killing his own company. Bro, listen, man, I worked with Dixie and Dixie made a lot of mistakes, bro. We all make a lot of mistakes. But she didn't make near the amount of mistakes this guy's making, man. He's too much, bro. He's really getting to be overbearing, man. Bro, you saw I don't know if you saw, John, you should go back and watch this. On the he just did that Don Labarge
Oh,
Libatard show.
Dan
Dan
Levitard, yeah.
Libatard. Bro, they're making fun of him, like right in front of his face, and he doesn't even know it. He can't even see it. Bro, they did that birthday bash celebration, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that was a rib on him. They're all behind. Mark Henry's going hysterical. Jeff Jarrett, they're whispering in each other's ears. It was a rib. The guy doesn't even know it. He's like oblivious to what's going on. And I did a whole live stream yesterday. Bro, take a back seat, man. Take a back seat. Put the talent in the forefront. Put a talent on the Dan Lebatard show. You know, the guy is on Busted Open every week. That should be a talent spot. He should not be sitting there in on the scrum with every interview. My God, bro, like literally get over yourself, man. You got to start putting the talent, in the forefront of everything, not yourself. He really is hurting his business.
All right, let's talk about WWF Fully Loaded 1998 in your house, which was July 26, 1998, Fresno, California, at the Selland Arena. The attendance 9,855. The pay-per-view buy rate 305,000. Going head to head with Bash at the Beach, 1998, which did 600,000. So 900,000 people ordering pay-per-views that month. So a pretty insane number there.
Yeah, compared to 1.5 watching it for free.
Yeah, exactly. It's nuts to think about 1998 and how much money you guys were rolling in there. But the interesting part is, okay, so the tease, like we mentioned, the main event is Austin Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind. Kane and Mankind beat the Outlaws for the tag title, so now the match is for the tag team championship. Vince is teasing with his crew, with the Stooges, that Undertaker and Austin can't be on the same page. Undertaker might not even show up. But hey, if he doesn't show up, guess who you have as a tag team partner, Austin? The Brooklyn Brawler. So
that's great. That's tremendous.
For some reason, I can remember that like 25 years later, just hit the way he says it too. It's so funny. It's like, wait a second, the Brooklyn Brawler, like what? That's going to be his tag partner? What?
That is great. That's great, man. Yeah.
Do you remember like why that was just like to pop the boys, or just to make a laugh, or just to make it seem like Austin was screwed?
Both, bro. Both.
Did Brawler ever think like, oh, real? I'm in the main event.
No. Not at all, bro. That's great, man. That's funny.
That's one of those things at that point, like in '98, Vince was like on fire. Remember at Survivor Series with Dwayne Gill? He pumped it up like it was somebody great. The guy left me for WCW at one point, like, and he's like Dwayne Gill, and everyone's like Dwayne Gill, like I don't know, just a funny little comedy stuff.
I swear, one thing I really enjoy, John, about watching these Attitude Era shows, the thing I really enjoy is, bro, Vince is having a blast. He is having such a good time doing this, and that really puts a smile on my face. He was so into the moment, like of everything he was doing, bro. And then there were those special times. John, when him and Austin would always try to pop each other.
Right.
Like I just finished watching one scene where Austin's in the ring. It's at the end of the show, and Vince is dancing to Dude Loves Music. Austin cannot keep a straight face. And Austin's thing was, bro, he always, when he would be cutting these promos on Vince, he would always call Vince like Hot Shot. Hot Shot. He popped himself by, hey, what are you doing over there, Hot Shot? Like he would pop himself. But bro, when you look at those shows and they would constantly be trying to pop each other, that told me that, man, these guys were having such a good time, and that's what really makes me happy. You know what I mean?
That stupid Dude Love dance where he does that thing where he goes like this or whatever with his legs.
Yeah, oh my God, it's great, bro.
They cut to Austin. It's like a little smile on his face. He's obviously not supposed to be smiling because Dude Love and Vince just screwed him over. But it's so great. Yeah, that was good. So the first match here is going to be Val Venus versus Jeff Jarrett with Tennessee Lee and Southern Justice. Southern Justice sent to the back, so it's going to be a fair fight here. Val Venus gets the victory over Jeff Jarrett, 7 minutes, 45 seconds. Kind of a little bit of a, not screwy finish, but Jarrett hits the ref. Val Venus rolls him up and covers him. So kind of kept Jarrett strong in the loss here.
Yeah. You know, bro, a couple of things. Like I get so... I get so upset, bro. And you guys are seeing my work, okay? Southern Justice is getting sent to the back, okay? Did you watch Raw this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Drew McIntyre against JD McDonough.
Yep.
Why is Dominic allowed to stay ringside, bro? Like these are the issues that I have. Like, okay, and like, first of all, the referees letting him stay ringside. It's not his match. He has no business being ringside. I guess Drew McIntyre has no problem with him being ringside. But when I watch these Attitude Era shows, bro, we sent people to the back. Slaughter would come out and send people to the back. Now, bro, they're allowed out there. Nobody says something. They interfere in the match. They're allowed out there the next week. Bro, I swear to God, there was a string of like 8 shows in a row where Rhea Ripley was interfering on the outside. And I'm just like, at what point does the referee not allow her out here? So, yeah, bro, they're sent to the back. So it's a one-on-one. And, bro, this is a good, safe finish because Val Venus is a baby face, but he really is a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's only a baby face, bro, because the fans are cheering for him. He really is a slutty, grimy, dirty porn star. So for him to take a win like this, bro, that makes all the sense in the world.
Did you like the Val Venus character? And did you create that character?
Oh, yeah, bro. Because, bro, like, JR had told me, Vince, we got this kid, Sean Morley, and he's ready. So when JR told me that, bro, now I had to get together with the talent. And I had to really figure out what the character is going to be. So, bro, when I started hanging with Sean a little bit, bro, when it came to politics, this guy was brilliant. And I'm listening to him talk, and I'm like, bro, I am not on his level intellectually, and I will never be able to write a political character for this guy because it's just not in my wheelhouse. I'm not going to be able to do it. But I remember, bro, just looking at him, and I'm like, my God, bro, at the end of the day, this guy looks like a sleazy porn star. So I went into Vince first, and I said, Vince, I got to tell you, I've been spending a lot of time with Sean Morley. Bro, this is all I'm seeing. This guy is, and I had the name Val Venus and the whole thing right then and there, bro. Vince called him on the phone and said, Sean, you're not going to believe this, but this is what we're thinking. And, bro, he played that character to a T, man. To a T.
He was quite good and quite over.
Yeah,
as
very
far
over.
as like not like Austin level, but I mean he was
Right.
very high up there.
Yeah,
Over as far as over with the crowd.
Absolutely, yep.
So this is like your brainchild. Does he come up with a "Hello, ladies" and the big Valpolsky and that stuff, or is that you as well?
Yeah, I was writing his promos because, I mean, obviously he had a promo before every match. I was writing his promos, but this isn't where, okay, bro, you got to say every word here. This is it. Right. He injected his creativity into what I wrote. So I would say it was very, very much a team effort.
Val Venus, one of those guys like Attitude Era, like when you say like the Godfather, those guys, Goldust, like those guys stick out from the Attitude Era.
Sable.
I don't know if. Yeah. But I don't know if like Val Venus plays necessarily in a different era. You know what I mean? It's got to be Attitude Era. He's playing a male porn star.
I'm not going to argue with that.
So the next matchup, D'Lo Brown with the Godfather versus X-Pac with China. D'Lo Brown gets the victory in about 8 minutes and 30 seconds here. D'Lo kind of a little bit of a cheating to win. A little bit of help from the Godfather. Then he hits the sky high and gets the pinfall victory. What were you thinking about with D'Lo at this point? I mean, he was never in main event level, but he was always upper mid card. Getting wins over X-Pac is pretty big.
Yeah, Dutch Mantel. I always got to give credit for Dutch. When you have a guy like D'Lo, Dutch would say he's a good little hand. D'Lo was a pro, bro. He was a pro through and through. He knew what his role was. And he always, bro, performed at the top of his game. He was a joy to work with in the back. To this day, I mean, I remain friends with D'Lo, and man, you need the D'Lo Browns, bro. You need the Savio Vegas, and you need those guys, bro. And D'Lo played such an important role, bro.
X-Pac, any significance to the loss here? It doesn't hurt him, you don't think?
No, I don't think it hurts him at all. And I think the draw and the attraction was, what, it was a one-on-one match.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was. Nah, bro. At that point, because I'm watching that now. When X-Pac first came over, he was so over, bro. As long as the finish is right, you're not going to hurt X-Pac.
Godfather did cheat a little bit. China tried to thwart it, but he did cheat. So
The interesting
D'Lo
thing
just
to
kind of
me, the interesting thing to me, bro, is, you look back at that now, and China's, you know, in a serious relationship with Triple H. And now, she goes out here with X-Pac, and who would have known that would have turned into a serious relationship. So it's really, man, when you look at the pieces and then what happened, it's just really, really interesting.
true, very true. The backstage happenings there
Yeah.
with these guys.
Yeah.
The next matchup, Farouk and Scorpio, aka Too Cold Scorpio, defeated Justin Hawk Bradshaw and Terry Funk in 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Just, I don't know, nothing really here. It almost felt like all four of these guys didn't have much going on
Yeah,
here.
this is definitely filler, bro. This is just definitely a filler match, but it's a filler match with guys that are going to have a great match. These four individuals. Look at the guys you just named. These four individuals are going to have a good match.
Scorpio gets the win over Funk. Any sort of push in line for Scorpio? Any thought of that or
Yeah,
no?
I don't think so, bro. When we talk about a lot of these guys today, John, bro, they would be at the top of the card today. Like Scorpio was a star, like D'Lo was a star, but the problem was, look who was in front of them. I mean, my God, bro, you had Taker, you had Kane, you had Rock, you had Austin, you had Mick, you had Triple H with DX. Like there were so much on that A level that, these guys were going to have a ceiling. Bro, today these guys would be main eventing.
After the match, Bradshaw beats up Funk because Funk took the loss, and even hits Farouk and Scorpio for good measure. So I guess at least he gets a little bit of his heat back. I guess, is that the thought here, just to keep Bradshaw strong at least?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. And bro, they were always very, very, very high on Bradshaw because he was kind of like in with the right people. Like the right people liked him. So they were always looking out for him. And look, you can go all the way up to 2023. They still look out for the guy today.
This next match, I hated it at the time, hate reading as well. But Mark Henry defeats Vader in a singles match in 5 minutes. Kind of just squashing Vader here and kind of writing him off against a very green, not very good at this point, Mark Henry. What's going on here?
Again, bro, when it's something like this, I was, man, I was listening to something the other day. I don't know if it was JR. I don't know who it was, but it was somebody in management during that time, and they were talking about Vader being out of shape. So this is probably what that was all about, bro. It was probably all about, listen, here's the great thing about JR. If Vader's overweight and out of shape, JR is going to tell him. And JR is going to tell him, bro, you need to get your ass back in shape. And if you don't, it is going to affect your push. And I guarantee you, bro, that's what was going on here. That they weren't happy with Vader not being in shape. They were probably telling him he needed to get in shape and he wasn't. So this is their way, bro, of, this is how we're going to send them a message.
And remember, he called himself a fat piece of shit. Remember, he was
Yeah,
doing like,
because
what the
and
hell?
you know why? Because the office was probably telling him that over and over and over and over and over again. Bro, I'll never forget this story, John, that I was at TNA's. I was at TNA and we had broke up the Dudleys. And Bubba really started taking off. But if you remember at the time, Bubba was getting himself in sick shape. Sick shape. D'Lo was doing nothing and looked out of shape. So finally, D'Lo came up to me and he said,
Oh,
Vince, he goes,
Devon, yeah.
Devon, I don't understand. We broke up. Why are you guys pushing Bubba and you're not pushing me at all? And I told him that. I said, Devon, look at what he's done. Look at the work he's put in. Look at how he looks. I said, honestly, bro, you're a little out of shape. And bro, man, the man, he knew what I was saying was correct. Bro, in less than a month, D'Lo lost the weight, was in as good a shape as Bubba, and it was like, okay, like let's do some business now. So my point is, bro, either a talent is going to take heed or they're going to be too lazy and they're not. And if they're too lazy and they're not, bro, they're going to get buried by the office. I mean, I guarantee you when I'm going through this with Vince is filling me in on the background. Vince does not want to put Vader over, and this is why. And I'm not going to sit there and argue with Vince because that's a talent relations thing. That ain't a creative thing. If Vince McMahon doesn't want to put Vader over, we're not going to put Vader over, but there was always a reason for it.
It's interesting, like, just to see kind of how he fell off. You know what I mean? In WWF, it's like slowly but surely kind of really fell off. I mean, WCW is kind of the man over there. And even after WWF, he goes to Japan, he's the man again. So it's crazy. WWF was just not a good time for him.
And like I said, bro, also look at what he's walking into and look how many guys on the roster are over him because they're so over. So he didn't just walk in as a top guy. Okay, bro, maybe I'm a little out of shape. Maybe I could shed 15 pounds. Bro, he's walking in there. He's competing with Kane and Austin and Taker and all these guys. And if you don't get up to par, you're going to get left in the dust.
So the next match, the Disciples of Apocalypse, 8-Ball and Skull, aka your boys, the Harris boys, with Paul Ellering as their manager, defeated LOD 2000 Hawk and Animal in about 9 minutes here. They do the old switcheroo, the old twin gimmick where they switch.
They did that a lot to LOD leading up to this match. Yeah. Now was Draws out there?
No,
But he's
just
with
Hawk
them
and
at
Animal.
this point, right?
Yes, or he was, or it's around this point. He's it because they are LOD 2000, but he's not out there for this.
Was Sonny out there?
No.
Curious. Interesting. Yeah.
So Ellering is kind of able to cheat and distract the ref and able them to do the old switcheroo. LOD is also same thing with Vader. Almost seems like they're not
Same
in good
thing,
favor
bro.
here.
And bro, I'm telling you, this is Hawk having substance problems. You know, not Joe. It wasn't Joe. This was Hawk. So whether, bro, he's missing dates, whether he's sluggish during a house show match, this is all stuff that's getting back to the office. And bro, Vince is not going to reward these people.
Is Animal pissed at Hawk at this point?
Oh, I'm sure he is, bro. I mean, I'm sure he is. And meanwhile, you had the Harris boys who didn't do any of that stuff. I mean, those guys were really straight-laced guys. Vince liked them because they're two big, tough guys. So, bro, there's so much in wrestling, bro, like that people don't understand where it's sending a message. We're sending them a message. We're sending them a message. We're going to see how they react to that message.
What do you think here of like DOA, are they getting some sort of push? Are they just mid card for life? I mean, because it always seems like it's almost like you said about some other matches, maybe even some filler. Was there ever any thought of doing anything more with these guys?
God, bro, there really wasn't, and I regret that. I would have, bro. I just talked to Ron yesterday. I love these guys, bro, and I wish I would have had an opportunity to develop them more. Where they had separate personalities. You know what I'm saying, bro? And we could really get into that. But again, bro, it just came down to there were just so many guys over. Like it was just difficult. I could have done so much more with those guys, bro. And I tried to do some stuff with them later on. At what were they called? At what
Creative
was it?
Control,
Creative
WCW,
Control.
Pat Gerald.
Even at TNA, bro. Even at TNA, I did try to do stuff with them later, but I dropped the ball on that. I think I could have done so much more with those guys.
Do you like that gimmick, Disciples of Apocalypse, the biker gimmick?
Not really. I mean that wasn't my gimmick. They had that when I took over. I wasn't crazy about that gimmick, bro, but I could have done more with them.
LOD 2000, was that your idea? The name?
Yeah.
Why? Why
Just
LOD 2000?
because, bro, they were floundering. They were. This was not this, like you said about Vader. This was not the old LOD, and a lot of it had to do with Hawk, and they were really, really starting to lose favor. So I would probably admit that this was a last ditch attempt on my part to let's try to, revive them. And let's, Sonny was so hot. Everybody wanted, let's try to give them a new look and a new feel. But I really do believe, bro, at the end of the day, John, I'll never forget this as long as I live. Bro, when it's a talent relation issue, I don't get involved. It's none of my business. So if Hawk is really having serious drug issues, I don't know. It's none of my business. They don't share that with me. They don't share with me what the problem is. They'll just say, Vince will just say, well, we need to pull back on so-and-so. When I hear that, I know there's an issue. And I don't ask Vince what it is because it's none of my business. So, bro, I go ahead and I'm booking on television, Hawk's got drug problems. He's going to jump off the top of the Titan Chevron and all this. But I am not realizing the seriousness of these problems. Then, bro, we are at the airport one day, and Joe is pushing Hawk through the airport in a wheelchair. Bro, Hawk's got a blanket on him. He's totally out of it, and he's foaming at the mouth.
Oh, geez.
And Joe's trying to get him through this airport like without anybody noticing. And bro, it wasn't until I saw that with my own eyes where I was like, holy shit, like I had no idea that guy was in that kind of shape. But the office knew, but I didn't know.
Man, that's just absolutely crazy.
Oh, it was, but I'll never forget that. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Man, no wonder they're not getting any sort of push.
Yeah, and I mean, and bro, look at, Joe's really trying to take care of him. Bro, I mean, it's like as a shoot, he's trying to wheel him through this airport, hoping nobody's seeing.
Right.
And your eyes were brought to this. And that's when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, bro, this ain't no joke.
Oof. So then the next match up, Owen Hart versus Ken Shamrock in a dungeon match, which of course filmed on
I
location
love
in
that.
the
I
dungeon.
love that, bro. I love that. I
Is
thought that
that
was
your idea, and are you the producer on the segment
no,
at the
no, I am
dungeon?
not there. I am not there producing the match. But it was my idea. But I love that, bro. I love that.
What do you love about it? Just because it's like Hart family tradition, the dungeon,
Hard
everything.
family tradition. It's outside of the arena. The dungeon looks like a dungeon. Then you got the whole story of like Owen's got the home field advantage. You know, Shamrock's working in there for the first time. I just really liked, and I thought they did a great job.
And then another little twist: Dan Severn is the special guest referee, so
There
he's
you
going to call
go.
it right,
Yeah.
going to call it right down the middle there.
Yeah.
But Severn, by accident, gets hit with Owen at one point, and then
Yeah.
Severn gets distracted. Owen grabs one of the dumbbells, hits Shamrock, then puts him in an armbar. Severn recovers, sees that Shamrock is knocked out. He thinks it's from the submission. Owen Hart gets the victory in 5 minutes,
There you go. Yep.
which will obviously continue, and they'll have a Lions Den match the next month,
Yeah.
which is just a continuation of the feud. Do you like Owen in this role? I know we talking about him not really working as a babyface. Do you like him here as the heel, being like the chicken shit? But hey, I'm tough enough to be in these matches with you. I can beat you in these
Yeah,
matches, but then he
definitely.
cheats.
Definitely 100%. Bro, he was just, oh, it's funny, bro, because I don't know what it was, but obviously, John, you've heard the stories. If there was one guy you wanted to be around more than anybody else, it was Owen Hart. Like, as a human being, bro, this guy was just so special. Always ribbing, always laughing, always pranking. But yet, when it came to wrestling, he had to be a heel. Like, you couldn't pull out that good guy Owen on TV. You just couldn't. So it's just really weird, bro, because he's the greatest guy in person, but he's got to be a heel on TV.
So as far as that feud, obviously Owen and Ken Shamrock, it'll continue. Interesting with Severn though, considering the past with Severn and Shamrock. Did you guys think about doing a bigger feud because of the
Oh,
UFC feud, or
absolutely.
no? Oh, you did. How come it never?
Absolutely.
How come it never like turned out to be that way?
Well, bro, I think there were a couple of reasons. From a creative side, bro, Dan Severn was not going to be able to go toe to toe with Shamrock when it was promo time. Shamrock was good and he was intense and he was great on the mic and he was going to eat Severn up. Also, bro, going back to the office, I think they were having money problems with Shamrock. I think Shamrock wanted more than they wanted to pay him. And again, that's when I'm told I always would get Vince, we got to start thinking about phasing Shamrock out. And that's when I knew, okay, bro, Vince is having some kind of a problem with this talent, and Vince knows he isn't going to be around. Now, he doesn't want to cut him off immediately because he doesn't want to hurt the product, but that's when he would say, we need to start thinking about going forward without Ken. And that's when I would know in Vince's mind, he's already made up his mind. So now we just got to figure out how to ease him out.
And you're moving forward with somebody else.
Absolutely, bro. Yes.
So the next match is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. The Rock, who is the current champion, versus Triple H, who's out there with China. This match ends in a 1-1 tie. The Rock gets the first pin, then Triple H gets the second, and then it goes to a 30-minute time limit draw. So basically, The Rock versus Triple H just ends in a draw, 1-1. And so nobody won that third fall. At the 30-minute mark, China is cheating. The Road Dogg and Billy Gunn are cheating. The Nation of Domination is cheating. I mean, there's so much going on in this match, but it is actually probably a match of the night. Actually, really good chemistry
That's
between
what
the
I
two.
was going to say, bro. Like I could tell, like not remembering the match at all. You just laying that out to me, I could tell this was probably a great match.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And bro, it's funny because the both of them are on the rise. And obviously, we don't want to hurt either one of them. Obviously, at this point, The Rock isn't The Rock. You know what I'm saying, bro? Isn't The Rock at a 10, but he's on his way up. Triple H is on his way up since Shawn left the company.
Yep.
So, the idea is, bro, yeah, man, we want to keep both of these guys strong.
So obviously, you will keep all of them strong, but continue the feud because they
Yeah.
will be feuding in going forward, SummerSlam and beyond. So
Yeah.
keep the feud going, but keep them both strong. And you wanted to keep the
Absolutely.
title on The Rock.
Yeah.
Then we have Jacqueline versus Sable in a bikini contest. Interesting stuff here. The bikini contest between them is actually initially won, of course,
Oh, is
Jerry.
this the handprints?
Yes. So, of course,
Oh my
Jerry
God.
Lawler is the master of ceremonies for this. And you know that he loves that. Sable wins, but then is disqualified because technically it's not a bikini top. It is, they're handprints. So Jacqueline ends up defeating Sable here in the bikini contest by disqualification. What a swerve, bro. The swerve.
John, I got to tell you this. There is no doubt. First of all, me and Mark were very, very tight. Very, very tight. But, bro, there is no question. I was smitten with Sable. And, bro, there were times where I had a hard time even looking her in the eye because I think she was one of the most beautiful women I had ever seen. And, bro, I'm not talking about body and no. I'm talking about this. She was a beautiful woman. And I think like Mark knew I was smitten with her because like, bro, when Mark got hurt and he was off the road and he basically said to me, bro, I need you to watch over Sable. Like he basically told me that. So with Mark, like kind of known, I think Sable's beautiful, bro. The day of, Mero finds me and he goes, Vince, I want to bring you to Sable's dressing room. I want you to see her bikini just to make sure it's okay for tonight. So, John, I'm expecting to see Sable in a thong. Okay, like, no problem. So, bro, he brings me back in the room. She's wearing a robe. Think about me in this spot. Okay, Vince, listen, Sable, show him your bikini. Let's make sure it's okay. Bro, she opens up that robe and it's the handprint. And bro, remember the old Ralph Cramden hum the hum the hum the hum
Oh,
the hum the
yeah.
hum the. That
Yeah, of
was
course.
me. Like I couldn't say anything. Like I couldn't say anything. So the reality of that is, bro, we did not come up with that finish until we saw what Sable was going out there in. I thought Sable was going to be wearing a regular bikini.
Right.
But when she did this was the out to get, Jacqueline over, put a little bit more heat on Mark Mero. But I'll never forget, bro, Mark making her open that robe in front of him, in front of me for the first time. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
So they came up with that on their own
At
to do that.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yes.
I think you weren't the only one. I think everybody loved it, including Lawler, including me and all my friends. We all love Sable. Yeah.
That was insane. That was insane.
Jacqueline gets the win on a
But
technicality.
bro,
There.
listen,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Jacqueline's body was not so bad either, bro.
Right. Yeah. She was in great shape. Yeah.
Jacqueline was built like a freaking brick shithouse, bro. Like she was a solid, beautiful woman in her own right, man.
Yep. For sure. So now we have the main event of the evening: Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker defeating Kane and Mankind, who had Paul Bearer in their corner, for the WWF Tag Team Championship. The match goes 18 minutes. Pretty good match here. It's just interesting that the whole dynamic of it. It's like, wow, the tag titles are on the line. Like, that's interesting. The main event guy, Austin, the other main event guy, The Undertaker, who are going to be kind of, feuding and heading towards the highway to hell. They're going to win the tag titles. Like, a lot of intrigue and a lot of top heavy star power going on here.
Yeah. John, that's what it was always about for me. And I think that's a big I think we're really missing that today. So when I'm booking a match like this, I know like the fan at home is saying, what are they going to do here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't call what's going to happen here. Therefore, you want to buy the pay-per-view.
Right.
What we see today, bro, is we put two talents together and we know they're going to have a 5-star match. That's what we see today. Back then, it's like, holy shit, like, how are they gonna get out of this? Is Taker gonna turn on Austin? Is Mankind, like, you don't know what we're going to do. And that's why you're buying the pay-per-view. I think that art is 100% lost.
And it's great because Vince is kind of the one that says Undertaker's going to be teaming with Austin, but teasing that Undertaker's kind of on his side, that Austin can't really
Exactly,
trust him,
bro.
that
Yes,
that there's no way you're going to coexist, and then Kane and
exactly.
Mankind are going to destroy you guys because you can't coexist. So there's no way they're going to win. So it's unpredictable for sure.
So what happens?
Undertaker, Tombstones, Kane, and Austin and Undertaker do get the victory. There wasn't as much dissension amongst them, but you could tell, obviously, there is tension between them because Undertaker wants the title, and Vince is pumping it up like, like, not that it necessarily is a good thing, but almost pumping it up like Austin can't watch, can't trust this guy. He's got to watch his back. Undertaker's
Yeah.
going to end up getting him in the long run.
Yeah, I just watched the episode where like Taker cut that promo out of character. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which was
Yep.
such a good freaking promo. So yeah, that's kind of where we are in the story.
But it's just cool because it's like, oh, you thought something was going to happen Undertaker in Austin. It doesn't. So it's like, okay, it's going to happen leading into the highway to hell. Like, it's building towards something. You're like, something is
John,
going to happen.
that's must see TV.
Right.
That's must see TV. Like, you're planting the seed that it's
Right.
going to happen. When is it going to happen? Now you've got to watch every single episode. That's the part that's missing, bro. And like I said, that all goes back to writing a television show. And that's what Ed brought to the table. And I think that's something that is severely missed, bro.
It's interesting too with Kane and Mankind because it's like, okay, Kane and Mankind aren't liking each other too much now either.
Right.
Plus, they're going to continue to team, but then Foley keeps kind of getting beat up or left behind or destroyed or a 2-on-1 situation. He's kind of been getting a lot of sympathy, so it's almost like he wants a sympathy, but he's such a lost soul that he thinks Vince is his friend. So
Right.
even after all this, even though Vince is mad at him and does this to him, and that he still thinks Vince because Vince is using him because he's a pawn, but he thinks that Vince is his buddy. Like, he's slowly thinking
Well,
that Vince is really out for it to help him.
see, John, that's what you're talking about, bro. Layers. There's
Yeah.
layers and layers and layers. I always used to say, bro, like when me and Ed wrote the show, we were proud to say this was a thinking man's show. You had to think about the show and what's going to happen and where are we going? Exactly what you're saying. We wrote the show that way, bro. It was by design.
And if you look at it, Triple H is headed towards the IC title. The Rock is the IC champ, but he's really headed for bigger pastures. I mean, he's really headed for the world title. Then he's going to, kind of turn heel, and he's going to be Vince's boy. He's going to be a part of the corporation. And Foley was just a pawn the whole time. He basically tricked him and threw him off to the wayside,
Right.
which is a great arc for him because then he feuds with The Rock, who is the real Golden Boy, who he thought he was, but
Right.
Vince tricked him into thinking that. So and then obviously Undertaker, Kane, the brothers of destruction are going to team up together, which is bad news for not only Vince, but really bad news for Austin,
Right.
who's the champ. Like, so, okay, Austin beat Kane, then he beats Undertaker. He can't beat them both.
I'll never forget one of my most favorite moments, and I haven't come up to it yet, and I don't even really remember the build, but when Kane went out there, and you thought it was Kane, and then
yes.
Bro,
Yes.
that to me, like, bro, Michael Cole had Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso in the ring, and Michael Cole actually said, "Man, when I saw you guys win the tag titles, that gave me goosebumps." And I'm like, really, Michael? Everything you've seen in the past 25 years, that, bro, when Kane took off the mask and it was Taker, that gave me goosebumps, bro.
Nice, nice. So, what do you think overall of the pay-per-view? Did you like it? Thumbs up. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no, bro. I liked it because this is a story in progress. It's a story in progress, bro. This isn't a one and done. Everybody is progressing here. The stories are progressing here, and to me, that's the most important thing because you're hooking more and more and more people as you go along for the ride.
All right, let's hit the plugs. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Two Man Power Trip. Vince, what do you got?
Yeah, everybody, just go to russosbrand.com and it will send you to everywhere you need to go. That's it, everybody. russosbrand.com.
All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you right back here next time for the next podcast. Have a good one, folks.